Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a fat, wet what's up from me, lads. I'm Zero Symmetry, and whilst Halloween is over, I still have time to tell a couple of ghost stories. We have been spoilt for Monster Hunter Rise news as of late. Not only more returning monsters, a whole new returning area in the flooded forest, but we've seen some amazing new features and monsters as of late. If you remember a while back, we took a look at the influence of Japanese yokai or demons in folklore on the design of the new monsters, and I'm very happy to report that there's even more now. Let's take a wirebug jump off of a nearby pyramid and see what's what. Starting with Somnikanth, a wonderful, eerie confirmation of the return of the Leviathan classification, and what a return to form. Lithe, slim, agile, and downright creepy, there's a couple of yokai that I believe she's based on. First of all, she? Absolutely. The Funayure, spoken of as the spirit of those that have disappeared at sea, is related to the broader classification of simply yurei. The latter is usually depicted as a ghostly woman, clad in a traditional white funeral kimono, and if we take a look at Somna's arms, you can see that the vestigial fins give the impression of looser sleeves, combined with the bipedal silhouette when it stands on its tail. Now the former, the Funayure, is known for appearing in misty or foggy conditions, and luring sailors to join them in the depths from afar. Of course, complete with Somnikanth's title of Mermaid Wyvern, it's not hard to see the overlap with Western sirens and mermaids. Additionally, the whole appearing on foggy nights and his generally hypnotic shtick lines up with the thing using a sleep-inducing mist to attack. So what's the other possible influence? I believe that the Ningyo, an aquatic creature with a humanoid face, often depicted with flowing hair or webbing, could be appropriate. Even more so when you factor in the legends that when it surfaced or was caught by fishermen, it was an omen of terrible things to come. All in all, I really like Somnikanth. I think it's an incredibly fresh design, with the right balance of unease and beauty. On to the next one. We've recently been introduced to Bishaten, the first fanged beast ever of 5th gen. I personally kinda see it as a parallel to Quetzalcoatl, as it can shield itself, fly, and has a general aura of a trickster about it. Cheeky little dude, this one. So what of the yokai parallels? Look no further than the Japanese title, Tengu beast. The Tengu are traditionally depicted with humanoid and avian characteristics, which I can see here has been adapted to include the face of a primate with a predatory beak. The humanoid aspects in Bishaten aren't completely lost, however. You can see 5 digits on each wing hand, and this wonderful clip where it uses its wing membrane like a cloak. It's clear to me that Bish here is incredibly intelligent. The Tengu are also denoted as having an affinity for fans. In legend, they have a magical feather fan that they can use to stir up great winds. Who knows, maybe some of the Bladewing attacks we've seen could potentially be an homage to this. Right, that's the 2 new monsters we've seen. Now for some hints or lesser examples. In the recent Greatsword gameplay video, the armor and weapons are gargantuan pieces of metal tied with a white fur and feature a soft blue color. They're bulky, brutish, and seem to use ice element. If we combine that with the demonic looking mask on the male set, I reckon it's a shoo-in for the Namahage. The legend of the Namahage tells of 5 enormous oni that set up camp on the high peaks of a nearby village, stealing crops and generally being all-round arseholes. Yeah, a giant terrifying ogre that makes its home at the peak of a mountain. I know, you could go so far as to call it a yeti, and really, doesn't this beautiful gear look exactly like you'd expect from one? It's early days for sure, but if this is correct or at least close, we could be looking at an ice-fanged beast to rival Rajang. Isn't that exciting? And before we close out, a final footnote. In the last video, I mentioned Yatsukadaki, the spider that we saw teased before, and I would actually like to add a further footnote to my reasoning. Yatsu here appeared in what seemed to be a dark and volcanic area, and the legend of the Jorogumo, or spider lady that ties into this, does state that it can employ fire-breathing spiders to do its dirty work. Keep an eye out. Since we've seen some new gear for unrevealed monsters in the new gameplay videos, I'd bet my leg that soon we'll see some webbed weapons using fire. If that is the case, we could also assume that there could be minions to deal with in the fight. A nice little callback to Giganox, I think. And that's that. What did you reckon? Did you learn something? Do you think we'll see more teasers with gear? What yokai would you like to see adapted next? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts in the comments. Take care, lads, and I'll see you all next time.